According to the International Health Racket Sports Association, or the IHRSA, 70% of people who inquire about personal training never actually start. And it's not because of money. It's because of the confusion and lack of confidence with the person that they're speaking with. This is why the first call you make with a prospective personal training client can make or break the moments of building trust. So why am I qualified to talk about this? I've been a personal trainer for 6 years. I've done over 11,000 personal training sessions and have made over $1 million in personal training sales. And what I can tell you after all these years of training, it all starts with that very first call. That very first call can be the deciding factor whether that prospective lead signs on as a client and signs on as someone that can build a long-lasting relationship with you, as well as a referral network that you didn't have access to before. In this video, I'm going to cover some of the most important things to remember and to do when conducting your first phone call with a potential personal training client. So most personal trainers can approach that first phone call as an opportunity to sell. For many personal trainers, the first phone call can be about selling. And this can create a certain level of nervousness and unnecessary speaking during that first call. After 6 years of making these calls myself and taking these calls, I've learned that that first call is all about discovery. The first phone call is curiosity. What I want to do is qualify that lead. I want to qualify them ultimately financially. I want to qualify them as the right personality for me. I want to qualify them convenience-wise, location, proximity. And lastly, I want to qualify them as someone who's committed to the services that I will be providing. And in that first 15 minutes of that phone call, it's all about qualifying this lead. So the questions you ask, the tone you provide, even the level of times where you don't speak during that call will allow you to build trust and be an authoritative figure on the phone. These frameworks that I'm going to provide you has helped me close almost 90% of all leads that's come in the last 6 years. When I say close, that means that the person I'm speaking to bought some level of product that I provided. So whether that service was my one-on-one in-person personal training, my online platform, or virtual training, or any type of product I can provide this person was purchased. When I say 90%, that means that 9 out of every 10 people I speak to will buy something from my personal training business. And if most trainers have their numbers in their business, they can scale their business fast and retain those clients as well. So let's start by understanding what is screening and why it matters. I know it can seem like really intuitive what screening is, but I want to break that down in more detail. Your job as a personal trainer during that first call is to filter, not convince. Your job is to extract the information that's necessary without feeling like you need to convince the person that the service you provide is for them. So ultimately, your job is to listen, which is the first key principle in making phone calls with personal training prospective clients. The coaches who struggle to listen will not be able to use the information provided by the prospective client at the end of the phone call to present the right prescription or program that's best for that client. So your job is to listen in detail and ask the right questions and to filter the things you need so you can make the right prescription or program suggestion in the very end. So let's go over some popular screening questions that I ask every prospective client who books a call with my business. And the number one question for me personally is, have you worked with a personal trainer before? This question I didn't ask years ago, but over the last 3 years, I did begin asking this question to everyone. Because this one question allows me to understand this prospective client in many different ways. Because for me, what I really want to understand is this person's level of commitment, accountability, and ability to take coaching. If someone has worked with a personal trainer before, it lets me know that they are comfortable investing in their health and their fitness. The last thing I want is someone who is not comfortable investing in their health and fitness. As a coach who charges a premium price for his services, I want them to know that the investment that they're making into me will be at the same level or even higher than the previous investment they made with the previous coach. So if someone says they've never worked with a personal trainer before, the next few questions I ask may differ from someone who said they have. So let's say we got someone who says they have worked with a personal trainer before. The next question I will ask is, what was your experience like with that personal trainer? And is that personal trainer not available today? Why aren't you still working with that person? Or what compels you to not reach out to that person again to start up again? This allows me to know what their previous experience was like with their previous trainer. So if they had a great experience with that trainer and something happened, like they moved out of town or relocated, this lets me know that this person may be a committed prospect. And not only do they enjoy the training, they've had positive experience in personal training. And I'm almost certain that the level of service I can provide will further those positive feelings about personal training. The next thing I want to screen for is accountability and discipline. I do this by discovering what are the bottlenecks in this person's life. I want to know in every way what can get in the way of you staying consistent and disciplined on the program. I want to know if there's issues with your relationships at home. I want to know if there's health issues, medical issues. I want to know if there's convenience issues. I want to know if there's location issues, access to equipment, access to the right things you need. What are the bottlenecks in your life that may throw you off a program once you get started? I'm speaking to this lead and asking questions as if they're already a client of mine. And when they're thinking that way, they're thinking like, when I start training with this trainer who's asking me these questions, what are some things that can get in the way? Is their job stressful? Are they asked to do a lot? Do they work in insane hours? I want to ask these questions, but I don't want to ask those questions blatantly. Instead, I want to ask the questions that lets me know what's going to get away of the training. And just simply asking questions like that about bottlenecks, they'll tell you all the things about their job, their personal life, their medical health, and you'll get a sense of all that without needing to ask those questions directly. And not only that shows that you're a high-level thinker as a personal trainer, it also saves you time on that call. Because to be honest, you don't want to get into the details of things that don't matter outside the services you'll be providing. The more a prospective client tells you about their bottlenecks and life stressors, the more you can position a program that you provide to help offset some of those things. As a coach, you'll get a sense of what they may need during the time training with you that goes beyond just the exercises you provide. They may need text reminders. They may need more convenience, hand-holding, structuring. They may need you to coach them in a particular way that allows them to overcome the bottleneck that they have in front of them. So simply inquiring about what the bottlenecks are in their life currently will allow you to get information during that first call that does wonders for you. The next big question that I ask all my prospective clients is, what services or products are you already using to solve this problem you have? Or another way of positioning that question is, how have you been able to work on this problem you have prior to this phone call? The prospective client has this problem. They're reaching out to you because they see you as a potential solution. But no one starts that way. Most people try to figure out solutions for the problems they have in a more immediate way. And to be honest, the average person will try a more cost-effective way to solve their problem before reaching out to a professional like you. So you want to know what those cost-effective ways are. You want to know if they're taking classes. Are they working with nutritionists? Have they tried to do this on their own? Did they take on a gym membership? Have they bought online personal training courses? Are they watching videos, using content? What level of investment are they making? Are they seeing a special type of doctor, a functional medicine doctor? Are they seeing a therapist? What other services and professional services are they using already? This tells you about the person's level of commitment financially into solving their problems, but it also gives you a sense of what their health spend is. And nowadays, when I take on new clients, I already want some level of health spend in their life. I want to know that this person is spending in a way that tells me that their health is a top 2 or 3 priority. If someone's already spending in a way that tells you that their health is a top 2 to 3 priority, that person will be more likely to spend the money that I'm going to ask for at the end of the call or during the assessment, because that person is accustomed to making those investments. So it's our job and my job to position myself and the services I provide as an investment that works hand in hand seamlessly what they already are doing. And that's why I asked the question, what solutions have you tried, or what level of investment have you tried to make in solving the problem you have before this phone call? Now, the very last screening question that I think works really well and I didn't start asking until recently, is about time, availability, and type of product they may be interested in. Time and availability is very important. The busier you get as a trainer, the less availability you'll have for someone to see you, whether it's one-on-one or virtual. So getting a sense of this person's schedule, where they're located, and what type of services they're looking for, and get a sense of where you can fit them, where you can move things around, or what type of service you want to provide. You want to screen for availability, but you also want to guide the questions that allows them to pick the availability that you have available. So it can be very helpful to have your calendar pulled up next to you when you're having this phone call. Because what you want to do is, if the person's an in-person client or a virtual training client, you want to steer the question in your favor. So you want to ask the person about particular times availability and what they're doing at that time. Are they available? What's their life like at that time? Are they at work? Do they get a lunch break? Are they working from home that day? You want to screen that in a way that aligns with your already current schedule. And if you know you're a busy trainer and you have a full schedule or you have other obligations and commitments, you want to think about the products you have and how that can fit in someone's schedule. You kind of want to screen to see if some people are good virtual clients. A lot of people train in person, but some people can be great virtual clients. They can have the space, willing to purchase the equipment, and maybe the tight availability that can make virtual a great option. If that person is really accountable, high discipline, and high motivation, there may be a model of hybrid, which is virtual or in-person plus virtual or virtual plus online program that you can offer this person. Whatever it is, when you're screening for availability and convenience, you have a product that can work for them. Your job is to get as much information about their availability and what's convenient for them so you can position your product as a solution for that bottleneck that they have. And in this case, the bottleneck is just overall looking for a personal trainer to provide services for an outcome. Just to recap those 3 questions I asked during the screening, the first question is, have you worked with a personal trainer before? The second question is, what are the bottlenecks in your life that can throw you off a program and throw you off your discipline? The third question is understanding what their time, convenience, and location is, and also having your schedule or understanding of your schedule pulled up so you can guide those questions that works for your schedule already. That level of screening will create a conversation that is seamless. You'll get to some of the major points about why they really are reaching out to you, the timing in which they're reaching out, why they're reaching out, what's important to them, understanding fundamentally what their goals are just by asking these questions. These questions will create further questions that you ask to follow up that guides the conversation and discovery. But these 3 questions will structure it in a way where it's the foundation of what you'll speak about with this prospective client. During that first phone call, it can last anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes. But you want to save time to do something that is very important that not enough trainers do. And that thing you want to save time for during a call is not only just pitching your programs, if that's what you want to do during that call. Not only is that time maybe pitching your programs or telling them more about yourself as a personal trainer and your programs, but using that time to sell the assessment. When I say sell the assessment, it's all about selling the opportunity for that person to get in front of you, whether it's on person or virtual. Some level of screening physically where you can see the person one-on-one, face-to-face, will take it to a next level. So sometimes it can be beneficial to go hard on selling the assessment than it is to sell the program. Create the first point of contact as soon as possible. As soon as you can get that client or prospective client in front of you, the better it is for the sale. In entrepreneurship and even in personal training business, time is literally money. But also entrepreneurship loves speed. So during that call, you want to position it in a way at the end to get that person in front of you as soon as possible. And that's what I mean by selling the assessment. So in this video, I'll cover some major points of the first phone call. The first phone call could make or break your business, and it's your time to build trust and build yourself as an authority to a prospective client. As I told you in the beginning, 70% of people don't actually start. So the 30% of people that do, what is it? It's a level of confidence and trust that person has in you during that first phone call. So take these 3 questions, and I promise you, the next first phone call you do, If you got it in this way, you'll build a lasting relationship with that prospective client, and it's most likely that person's going to purchase some level of service you offer. But remember, this is your time to listen, not convince, but filter. Be patient, allow them to speak, and when the time is right, position the services that you provide as solutions for the problems that they have. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe, or send this video to someone you know it may be helpful for.